My name is Robert Ashitay. I was a product of a broken marriage. My parents were together, but then at some point they started fighting for some reason or other, and I witnessed them at a young age get into fighting, and eventually things became very unstable. I could say that could relate to how I grew up throughout those years, because I only had my mum and she was under a lot of pressure. She would drink a lot of the time. She had addictions that she had to deal with, and she became a completely different person, a person that was very volatile. And what would happen is, we would have problems at home. She would throw things, I would get angry, I'd run out of the house, I would go to school, I would manifest that anger at school, I'd manifest that anger wherever I was. When I'd get angry, I'd breathe really heavily, the shoulders would be going up, I'd be able to pick people up, throw them, and I grew up with that. But then because I wanted to be a better person, I didn't want to be like that because I knew it was giving a bad report at home. So I tried to make sure as I got older to hide that anger. I tried to make sure to keep it concealed. So when things would happen wrong at home, I would keep it all in. But then when I got invited to go to a church, I went there because that's what people do. My parents said, okay, go to church. So, okay, why not go to church? But the thing is, when I was there, I started to see things. I started to see that people started to see their lives change, through going there. And I started to really understand what was being spoken there. And it made me look not longer just at the problems I was facing or just to grind through the problems, but it made me to look within myself to see how I can change it. So when I traced the root of the problems, it wasn't so much of the people that I couldn't control who were addicted to alcohol, no. It was how I was dealing with it. And through me changing like that, I changed in my character, my personality. I changed in the way I dealt with my mom. I changed in the way I dealt, in the way I chose my friends, who I walked around with. I had a discipline in my life. And with this discipline, my mom changed. She stopped with the addiction. Without me forcing her or telling her anything, she decided to change and to do what I was doing. The same thing happened concerning my love life. I became not concerned in my love life because inside of myself, I was fulfilled. I was happy. I could have stayed single, but even eventually I did later on get married. And also, this affected my career, my financial life. When I got back up academically, I completely turned my life around. I completely became a completely different person. And definitely when I dealt with the root that was inside of me, everything definitely did change.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. We are live here in our studios in North London. And tonight the topic is choosing the right path. In life, we have to make many choices. Choices that are difficult to make, some are a lot easier to make. But there's a time in life when we get to a crossroads. That time when you don't know what to do? And maybe the road that you need to choose is an easy one. But when we choose sometimes the easy options in life, they can lead us into places that we regret later on. They can lead us to dark places, places where we wish, we could turn back the hands of time and go back and make the right decision. So, have you or are you in a situation now where you say to yourself, I have chosen a wrong path in life. I have chosen a wrong set of friends to hang around with, and now it's difficult for me to break from them. Maybe you chose a path of taking an illicit drug or something like alcohol. And now you are so deep in it, you're so addicted to it, you can't return. It's hard for you to turn back. Maybe you are in a relationship. You accepted someone in your life, and now it's too late. You don't have that strength to break off that relationship because maybe you're afraid of abuse. You're afraid of being harmed in any way. So you accept that life, you accept that relationship. But I have some good news for you. No matter what path you have taken, where you are now, and you may say to yourself, it's difficult, it's actually impossible to turn back. Well, it may be hard to turn back, to go back and choose the right decision or right path, but now, what you do now, you can decide to change the course of your life. You can decide to change the path that you are walking on right now. And we're going to be talking to a young man. His name is Dieudonne, also known as D. He's going to be sharing his story. He's still young, but what he has gone through, maybe some of you out there looking at watching this program now, maybe you've never gone through what he's gone through. But he has changed his life around. So, no matter what you're going through, if you say it's impossible, there is still hope for you. All right? With me tonight, I have Roland. Pastor Roland with me in the studio. Hi, Pastor Roland.
Hi, good evening, Michael.
How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening to everybody.
So, you know, there are people who are watching us now, probably flicking the channels, and they're going to come across this program now, and they're going to think to themselves, Roland, you know what? I can identify with this topic tonight because I feel as though I can't. I want to choose a new path, but I can't. You know, what can this person do?
You have the rights to say yes. You are able to, you're capable of saying yes. In the same way, you can say no. So the decision is yours to answer and be willing where you want to go. And this is the aim of the program tonight. We're going to try to lead you to make right choices. And then perhaps just saying no, actually stopping if you're not going in a direction that actually is bringing results to you. Because, Michael, you know, there are people that they are not seeing the results that they want in life.
Yeah.
But they keep going, thinking that life will change by itself.
Yeah.
And that's not true. Perhaps you have tried already. And you are going for a long time. And time and again come that thought that I'm still stuck, I'm still here.
Yeah.
So there is a way to change.
And it's up to you to make that decision. As Roland said, you can't just think that life or even God will change your path or change the way things are. You know, it wasn't just by chance maybe that you decided to take drugs. It wasn't by chance that you accepted that relationship with that person. You made a decision. It was you. It wasn't God. It wasn't anyone else. It didn't just come that way because you could have said yes or no. So, likewise, you can say yes to continue on that wrong path or no, I want to change. All right? So, tonight, Pastor Roland is going to share with you now the contact details. If you want to give us a call, if you want to send in your email, if you want to tweet us, what's the contact details? If
you want to contact us already, our lines are open, waiting for your call. 020-7686-6300. 020-7686-6300. And I pause because I want you to think about this number and give us a call. Perhaps you want to tell us your story and that would be too long. You prefer to type and write down us an email. So send us the email to help@findanswers.tv. Do it now, and there'll be people already available to write back to you. We can read the story here if you prefer. You don't need to identify yourself if you don't want. Write in the email that then we don't read on the program, right? You actually can tweet. It's @FindingAnswersTV, and you can visit our Facebook page on facebook.com/FindingAnswers.
Okay, those are the contact details. Before we go to our break, I'm going to show you the first part of the introduction to this topic tonight, the first part of this video. Have a look at this.
Many of us grow up not knowing what we want to do with our lives. It can take years to figure it out, and some people never do. Many of us change jobs, careers, move to a different location, country, and even different relationships, searching for their purpose and destination. Life is about many paths. There are no two people in this world whose journeys are the same. Each path is different. Each leads someone in a different direction. Each thought, moment, decision, and experience leads us to a new path in our journey. Unfortunately, some people choose the wrong path and get involved in crime, violence, drugs, and abuse. But can these people ever turn their lives around? Can you ever change paths, even once you are well on your way?
So, that's the first part of the video. We're going to talk about the second part of the video later on in the program. I remember there was a point in life I had to make a decision. I was going down one path, and then something came to me. It was basically a door. It was a no. You can't go this way, you need to do something else. And I decided, you know what, I don't want to stay that way. I'm gonna make my future. I'm gonna try this way. And I made a decision. I ended up choosing another path, literally, a different path. And, I chose another course of action. And actually, it's there where I met my wife. I can explain more about it in later on in the program. But, basically, it's actually to do with a course. I was told, Roland, that I didn't have enough. I wanted to do graphic design. And at school, they said, your portfolio of artwork wasn't big enough. You need to stay one more year at school. Okay. Sixth form, they call it over here. And I said, you know what, I don't want to stay on in school. I want to go on to college. So instead of doing art, graphic design, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go into business. So I went into business, 2 years at college, and then went on to university, studied 4 years. Now, if I chose that, staying on at school, my path in life would have gone in a different direction, and I never would have met my wife. So sometimes, even that's just a simple example. You may be stuck, you may feel stuck in life, but like we said before, you can't just hope that things will change. You have to take a decision. It may be a hard decision, it could be an easy decision, but don't be afraid, don't be stuck and think that's it, right?
And that's the point. You said something very interesting when you said you feel like stuck, because most probably you are not stuck at all. Just maybe mentally you thinking that you are, and then you are there stopped and think, I'm afraid of taking a step towards a new direction, and you can do it. Why not? Why not to try? Why not to change for another direction? You have done so, and you have reaped good results out of it.
Yes.
And there are people that they are afraid of just going for a new opportunity, a new point, a new vision, and they could do even better than what they are doing.
Yes, exactly. So that's why this program is called Finding Answers. It's for you to find the answer that you so desperately are searching for. We're going to go for a break now. When we come back, you're going to meet our guest for tonight, Dieudonne.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
Welcome to your health centre, conveniently located right here in the heart of Finsbury Park. Open 7 days a week with 4 services daily, there's surely something for everyone. No matter what time of day, there will always be a spiritual advisor on hand, ready to speak to you. Call our 24-hour helpline, your place to open up any time of the day. No problem is too complex, so don't be dismayed. In fact, we have daily sessions that can tackle issues related to every area of your life from the inside out. If you're looking for uplifting advice, a listening ear, or maybe just a prayer to put your mind at ease, then feel free to come in. We also offer free childcare facilities during all of our meetings. We'll take care of them as if they were our very own. Or, for teens and youths, express your talents right here in our youth group, proudly one of the biggest youth groups in the UK. If you need our support, you will find it. From the training centre to support groups for single parents and the abused, free, confidential help is at hand. There's no appointment necessary, so you're welcome. And what's more, all the services we offer are all completely free. The advisors will give you practical, non-judgmental advice that will take the weight off your shoulders. Also, if you're looking for special gifts or an inspirational read, then why not visit our bookshops? We have a comprehensive range of thought-provoking literature at great prices. We work hard to provide for all of your needs from the inside out. Helping people is what drives us, so you're welcome.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, just before we go to our guest, just reminding you about the topic. Tonight's topic is choosing the right path. And if you say, I don't know what to do, I'm lost, I'm just riding, this journey, hoping that things will change. I'm riding this train. Hopefully I'm going to meet someone that's going to change. God's going to change my life in the future. Things are going to take a turn for, not the worst, but for good. I will say to you, it's not going to happen. You have to make things happen. And one way you can do that is by picking up the phone and giving us a call, all right? There's a team of pastors, a team of helpers on the line to listen to you. And there's a chance that they have their own personal story to tell. And they can advise you, they can help you. And if you want to include your name for the prayer at the end of the program, then we can mention your name as well. So if you want, pick up the phone, give us a call. If you want to come live on the air to share with us the experience that you're going through, you feel as though you're stuck, or maybe you've got a success story where you were stuck and then you did something to make or choose a different path, and today you are happier, you are more fulfilled, and you're content in your life, then please share that with us. All right? So without further ado, let's meet our guest for tonight, Dieudonne.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Dieudonne, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
D for short, right?
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sure people get mixed. They can't say your name.
Yeah, my name is quite difficult to pronounce.
Dieudonne.
Dieudonne, yes.
Okay, good. So you have a story to tell.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah? Your path, the way your life ended up, you were in a dark place.
That's true,
especially for a young person. So please tell us, how did it all begin?
It began from when I first came to the UK.
Right.
Because my uncle's the one who brought me here.
From?
From Congo.
Right.
Yeah, because I come from a poor background. My mom was struggling to look after me and my siblings. So what my uncle decided to do is to bring me here, so to take the weight off her shoulders. So now I traveled here with his wife, which I call mom today because they did look after me. And things were okay at the beginning. We used to do family activities together. They tried to make it as a home as possible because they wanted me to be a part of the family, so things were okay. As I grew, time passed, me and my uncle's wife, we weren't getting on. Things started going pear-shaped. Obviously I was a child, I was misbehaving, but then the way she used to respond to when I used to misbehave was different. It's like she used to blame me for everything the way it were, because as she came here, it was hard for her to adapt to the life here in the UK, so things was very hectic for her. So every time my uncle, which I called Dad, used to go to work, she would find any excuses just to get me in trouble. And every time they were both sitting down together, I would be upstairs in my room. I wasn't allowed to be together with them. I wasn't allowed to sit down and watch TV. If we had guests, I would be in my room.
So you're isolated?
I was isolated. And as I mentioned, if we had guests, I would eat after the guests would leave. And it was, for me, I wanted to be part of the family, the family that they had made me believe.
How old were you at the time?
I was about 11 at the time.
11,
yeah.
Okay. So you're adapting to the country, the language?
Yeah, which was very difficult.
So. Plus staying with your family, and it wasn't even then your close family.
No, it wasn't. No.
So you were you mistreated anyway?
Yes, I was. In fact, I was abused. My uncle used to beat me up. I don't know if you can see the bump on my forehead. I have a bump on my forehead due to when he used to abuse me. I have a detached retina on my eye, so I can't really see properly one of my eye because of the abuse. I mean, when I used to go to school, teachers used to notice that things were not right.
Did they do anything? Did they ask you, or did they just turn a blind eye?
Because I was a very closed person, I didn't really like speaking to anybody. So they tried the best to find out, but I didn't open up. I didn't open up.
So basically, that abuse at home, did it affect your schooling?
It affected my school because every time I'd done something wrong, one of my punishment would either be you don't eat for 2-3 days or you don't go to school.
Nothing at all?
Not at all.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, not even a biscuit, nothing?
Not at all. I mean, it's because of those kind of things which led me to do other things. Which when they'll be sleeping, I'd come downstairs, sneak in the kitchen, eat the food from the pot, everything. But then in the morning they would find out, and then I'll get into more trouble because of that. And
so that wasn't a life, right? To live in the UK.
No.
Did anyone know about what was going on?
Well, only people that were close to my uncle and his wife, they knew.
But your parents didn't know anything?
Not that I know of, because since when I came to the UK, I only spoke to them a year ago. Since I came to the UK, I hadn't spoken to them.
Now the thing is, where did this lead to? How long did this go on for, and where did it lead to next?
It went on for quite some time, I'd say 2 to 3 years. We used to live in London, we moved to Newcastle, and over there was hectic because people were racist. So I'm fighting at home with my parents, and then fighting outside as well. It was getting too much for me, to the point where I started, the behavior I was learning outside, I was bringing it back home.
So what kind of behavior?
The rudeness, back chatting to my parents, just completely giving them bad attitude and all these kind of things. So
how did you learn that outside? Were you like basically defending yourself? Were you being picked on because of your colour or something like that? And then you have to be tougher on the streets and then come back home and then be like that?
It's because of my colour, and also because I had to defend myself. I felt like everywhere I went, there was always problems. At home, there's no peace. Outside, there's problems. So you know what, I might as well be reckless wherever I am. So that's the way I conducted myself at home and outside. So
you said reckless, the word reckless.
Yeah.
So what else did you do?
From things, it didn't get worse in Newcastle. Over there, it still carried on. Family problems still carried on. So it got to a point where the social services got involved because they started realizing things were not right. I never used to come in school for a few days. When I come to school, I'll be sleeping, I wouldn't focus, and I'll be misbehaving. So they actually had a talk with my parents, and my parents tried to lie to them, everything's fine. But then one day, they beat me up so bad that I had bruises all over my body. When I went to school, they realized that something was not right. So I went into social services. And it happened that my parents had to move here. Now, they couldn't leave me in Newcastle by myself in the hands of social services, so I had to move back in with them. So when I moved back in, we came here to London. Things were all right because they knew that they were under surveillance, so the people were constantly on them. So after a while, it started again, problems. And there was an incident where my auntie, my mum, she literally there was a camera at home, which we used to use to film everything. So I remember that day I was using the camera as well. I was filming because I had family members around. And then everybody left, and then I put the camera upstairs where my dad told me, put the camera where it belongs. So I put the camera where it's meant to be. And then a few weeks later, we're looking for the camera's gone missing. And then my uncle started saying, oh, you sold the camera, what did you do with the camera? I told you to put it back where it belongs. So I didn't sell it, nothing. So weeks went by, we couldn't find the camera. And then there were pictures sent back from home, from my aunties, from my mum's family. And in the picture, we see the exact same camera. So she sent the camera back to try blame me like for selling this, or to paint a picture to my uncle that I'm a thief. Although I was a thief because of the things that was happening at home. But
so you were robbing outside as well?
Yeah, I was robbing outside as well.
Okay, you're gonna get on that in a minute. So with the camera situation, quickly, what happened?
It's when they saw the picture, they couldn't say nothing. I was so upset. I just walked out of the room. When we saw, I went upstairs, and then they tried coming to bribe me and these kind of things. So I isolated myself because that's what I'm used to. Every time there's a problem, they'll send me upstairs, so I might as well go upstairs.
Yeah.
So
you ran away from home, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Is it because of this? You had enough?
I had enough because my dad lives in a village, and with my mum, she thinks like my dad is a witch, like a witch doctor. So she used to think that my dad was using me to torment them, but I don't know why. Someone in the right mind, even if he was to do that. If someone is trying to help your child, trying to help your son to better themselves, why would he do that? So all these things was happening. I was being accused of being a witchcraft. Like so many things was happening. So one day I just had enough. I ran away. I ran away.
Where did you go to?
I went to live with friends. I went to live with my family. Wasn't family friend, but with my friends.
How long did you live with them for?
I lived with them for 2 months, but because your
mum didn't come after you and say come back home or anything like that?
The funny thing, they didn't come after me. The school had informed them where I was living. In fact, I was living like 5-10 minutes away from where they were. So the school they had informed them where I was, but they had told the school that we're not going after him. He has to come back home himself. Yeah. He's the one that made this decision to run away, so we're not coming after him. So for me, it's like, okay, cool. If they're not coming after me, then I might as well stay here. And the family that I went to, they were very welcoming, so I stayed there. But I couldn't remain there because it was too cramped. It wasn't enough. So the social services got involved again. From there, I went into living into care again.
So, you've heard part of his story. It's not all, because you're going to hear after the break how it led to him doing other things as well. And maybe you can identify with his story. Maybe you are in exact the same position as Dieudonne was in the past. Or maybe you feel stuck, and abuse, the way you've been treated, things not going right for you, has led you. You see how he was squeezed. Everything going against him at home, defending himself out on the streets, coming back home, feeling neglected, abused. It caused him to kind of make a decision which he didn't want to make, of running away from home. And maybe you feel squeezed. Maybe you feel pressured. You're going to hear his story after the break. If you can't take it anymore and you want help, then pick up the phone, give us a call while the break is on. Someone will be there to speak to you. We're going to come back after the break to hear the worst part of his life, how things were, but also how his life took a U-turn. You're going to hear how his life is today. We'll see you after this.
Lord, I'm struggling. Show me what I have to be thankful for.
Just by the way, it's not a bill, it must be umpteen bills. Because when the Senate Finance Committee to get to work on a tax reform, well, the first thing we've got to make sure is that we raise the tax for people.
Lord, I'm struggling. Show me what I have to be thankful for.
Welcome back to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, before we hear the rest of Dieudonne's story, let's go to the streets of London and see what people have to say on this topic.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And
I think you can have as many friends and family as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Victoria Edgecombe, and tonight on Finding Answers, the topic is choosing the right path. So I'm going to be asking the general public, do you think that people can really change the direction of their life once they've chosen the wrong path? Do you think that people can really change the direction of their life once they've chosen the wrong path?
I think it's always possible, but the only thing is then that person would have to deal with the prejudices of the people that are around them.
I hope so. I think it's pretty pessimistic if you think they can't, and it pretty much make prison a waste of time unless you lock people away for eternity. So I think you can. I can't think of any examples at the moment, but I think there are people that really turn their life around. So I'd say yeah, you can.
So, do you think they can change their paths? Do you think you can change your path? Well, let's go back to Dieudonne's story to hear what happened next. So, you said, Dieudonne, before the break, that you were in care, things weren't going well, right? Because of the abuse. How old were you at this time?
At this time, I was about 14, 15.
14. A lot you'd gone through already by this age, right? But then, where did that lead you to next? Because now you were starting to make decisions in life.
Yeah. I mean, I had made wrong choices, as in I got involved with the wrong friends. And these friends of mine showed me different lifestyle.
Now, this is when you were living with your friend now?
No, this was when I was in care. So,
in care?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in care I had more freedom. I could do whatever I wanted, and I can back chat to the workers that wouldn't do nothing to me. So I had this freedom. So I got involved with the wrong friends. And with these friends, we've done so many things. Like we started.
Were these friends in the care home as well?
Some in the care home, some just with their families as well. But with them as well, they had broken families, so we could relate as well.
So what would you go and do?
I would go out there to rob people. We'd go out there to beat up people because I was in gangs and we got involved in postcode wars as well.
So you used to rob people. Rob them of what?
With their phones. If they had their drugs, we'd go in their homes, take it, and rob people's homes, like just creepers and all those kind of things. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, what's creepers?
It's like, because I'm from, where I used to do is near Romford and all that. So what we used to do is go in people's homes when they're at work. We take whatever was valuable in their homes.
Were these people you knew that were out, or just anyone?
Like, it's like
you waited for people to leave?
It's more or less like we can tell when someone's not in. So we'd go in, take whatever was valuable, laptops, watches, TVs, just to show them.
Now, tell people at home, what are the signs so that they can change? What were the signs that people were not in?
It's like the lights were off, and it's like we would have someone there to observe the house for 30 minutes and all these kind of things. Right. It's like we knew like the area already. Okay. So it's like we knew people's schedules and all these kind of things.
Right. So yeah. All right. So break routine, right?
Yeah.
And that's the advice you give now. You don't do that lifestyle anymore.
Yeah.
So you used to rob people's houses, steal from people on the street. Knife point?
Phones, knife points, beat them up even. So yeah, these are the things I.
So if you saw me on the street,
back then, like I wouldn't care. Usually we should target people who had like workers who'd come from work with laptops and these kind of things. So because we wanted to make money, so stealing phones wasn't really.
And what would you do with the money you got from selling?
I would spend it on, for me, I would invest in drugs because I used to sell drugs as well. So I would just use it to have fun, to enjoy myself.
Did you ever smoke drugs?
Yeah, I used to smoke weed. And it got to a point where I used to smoke it so much, like, for me, I felt like it was helping me, but it was more or less making me feel more depressed about the situation that I was in. Like to a point where I couldn't sleep without it, I couldn't eat without smoking. I even lost weight. I was so skinny. Like when you saw me, you wouldn't.
Were your friends going down that same path as well?
Yeah, I was around people who was doing exactly the same thing. So for me, I couldn't see a different picture because that's what I was surrounded in. So,
what was the worst point in your life?
The worst point is that is when I actually stabbed somebody, which I could have killed somebody.
Trying to steal something from them?
No, it was just a gang war, so we called this person, I stabbed him. And also it was the worst part, but for me it's like to a point where I started to accept my life the way it was. I was starting to think, this is who I am. This is what my life is gonna be like for the rest of it. This is my destiny, so you know what, I might as well make the most of it. I started accepting the way.
You didn't see there was any way out?
No.
Right, this is the path I've chosen and that's it?
That's it, yeah.
What did you think of the end of your life? What do you think would happen? I'm gonna live like this for the rest of my life? I'm gonna die like this?
Yeah, it's like I'll live, enjoy myself. Well, I thought I was enjoying myself anyway. Do what I'm doing till I die. But then, if I even had thoughts of killing myself, but I couldn't do it because I have a son as well. Right. At the time when I was doing all these kind of things, I had a son as well. So it was very selfish of me if I had to do that. So this was something this is what began my process of trying to turn my life around. Yeah, but I didn't know how to. That's the truth. Yeah.
Okay, so if you've stuck with us till now, you're wondering, how do I turn my life around? Well, he's going to explain it now. So how did you turn your life around?
First of all, it wasn't easy. I had to cut off all my friends. I even got into problems because of cutting them off. I changed my set of friends because.
But what led you? What was the understanding in your head? You know what? I have to break from these friends. What was it? What led you to make that decision? It's
because I wanted something different. I wanted a different life. I wanted to be a different person. I had enough of being who I was, but I didn't know how to. So it all started in my mind with the decision that I made in my mind
Mhm.
that this is what I want to do. I want to change. I don't know how to,
Yeah.
but I'm going to try whatever
And
it is.
that came from you?
From inside, yeah.
Okay, what else?
From there, it's like my cousin introduced me to a new set of friends. It's like these guys, when you look at them, they're really inspirational.
And who are they?
To be honest.
Who are these
Like-
guys? Where did you meet these people?
I met them in the youth group.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, these guys like...
A youth group?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So it's like...
What was different about this youth group than other youth groups?
Like the other youth groups, I used to go to youth clubs and all these kind of things. These youth clubs, like, they made young people to engage with each other, but they wasn't really helping them to guide them to make the right decision in life. We would go in there, we'd play around with girls, play snooker, play games, and then go home. That's it. But in this youth group, it's like they showed me the value that I had. They showed me that if I want, my life can be different. And there's other youths that had taken it serious, and I can see in their lives that they made their decision.
So did they come, this youth group, members of this youth group, did they come from troubled backgrounds and turn their life around?
When I first came to youth group, I thought, no, these people are not real, man. It's like they've had perfect families, perfect lives, this and that. So that's why it took time for me as well to get the help that I needed, because I didn't want to open up to them.
Do you think it was too good to be true?
Yeah.
How they were? So
Yeah.
describe how they were.
It's like they had goals, they had visions, they was so happy. Like, I've never seen in a place, there's so many young people in one place, everybody smiling, everybody jumping up and down, everybody just united. I've never seen that. Usually when I see young people together in one place, there's always problems.
Was there weed around?
No.
Were there, girls and that kind of thing, flirting?
No.
Was there, loud music?
It was loud music, but
not the music.
Not that music.
In the negative way.
Yeah.
But you saw the environment of that youth group, what was going on, the positivity there. What were people saying about their lives? What were they saying?
It's like the message that these youths are passing to me is like, if I can do it, then you can do it. Like, I remember when I first set foot in the youth group, the one youth spoke to me, like, they started telling me their story, and I was like, rah, this is me. It's like, who spoke to you? Did anyone tell you my life?
But tell me, where did they get that strength from? And where did you get your strength from?
It was, for me, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. But for me, it came from inside. From inside. So that's where the strength came from. And it's for seeing them doing better as well. That's where my strength came from. So I bounced off them.
But it wasn't just inside of you. There was there prayer? Was there God? Was there, what was it?
Like, at first, yeah, there was like, at first it was just a normal youth
Because
group.
you said, sorry to cut you, because you said that youth group, there wasn't like other youth groups.
Not
So they weren't playing pool, they weren't playing snooker, they weren't flirting around. So where did they get their strength from that, kind of attached itself to you?
To be honest, it's from God, the strength that they got from. And this is the strength that I got as well. It's
Okay.
because, for me, I believe the reason why I went through all those kind of things, it wasn't by chance. It was for me to also help other youths. Because I know right now there are so many youths out there who are going through the same thing that I went through, if not worse. Now, the only way that they can see that there's a way out is through someone who's actually been down that path as well, to approach them, to tell them, look, things
So
can be
it was
different.
through your faith, because you mentioned God.
Yeah.
So it's through faith, your life changed, right?
True,
You knew, you kind of met up with a new set of friends, positive people.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of going back to the old set of friends?
No.
Robbing people and stuff like that?
Not at all, no.
No?
No.
So today, how is Dieudonne?
Today, Dieudonne is happy. It's like everybody sees me, I'm always smiling. Like before, I never used to smile. My family, I don't live with them, but I live by myself. But our relationship is much better because I decided to make the first move to do things different. Now I approached them, I spoke to them, we put our differences aside. Today we speak, we phone each other, we laugh. I go around them, sleep around their houses. It's really good.
And in terms of studies or work, what are you doing with yourself?
Before, I don't really see myself working or going to university, because the way I used to live, I used to go to college to sell drugs and all these kind of things. Nearly got kicked out of college. But today I'm in university. I started uni this year, studying music technology specialist, because that's what I like.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Don't do what I did, right? Of choosing one thing and not liking it and then going for something else. You know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm working as well, so this is what I'm doing today. I'm really happy inside. I have peace. Everything is fine. Excellent. So I'm being an example to my friends, to my son, and to everyone who knew me before and who's getting to know me now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thanks for coming on the program and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me, yeah.
So look, there's his story, and you can learn from him. If you want your life to change, if you feel stuck, and it's like, I don't know where to go. He said it starts off with him, a decision. And maybe all it needs is you to decide, you know what, I am tired, I'm fed up, I can't take this life anymore. That's the beginning, it's the start. Now, his life didn't change because of that alone. He found strength with God, faith, meeting different people, following a different set of people who are positive that could help him. So, if you feel lost, then we're going to be praying for you at the end of the program. We're going to go for a quick break now. It's time for you, if you want, to even pick up the phone, give us a call, and if you want to talk to us live on air, or you want to speak to one of our advisors, feel free to do that, okay? We're going to go for a break now. We're going to talk to Pastor Roland regarding this subject, and then we're going to go for the prayer. We'll see you after this.
How can you rebuild the shreds of a shattered past? Let us help you.
Works, salvation. Man, talk about your polarizing topics. Everyone has an opinion on them. Can we work our way to heaven? Does it just simply take faith? And what is an authentic faith? Well, let's investigate the arithmetic behind these important questions and see how the truth really adds up. Some people believe that works equals salvation. Simply put, this is man's effort to work his way up to God and become acceptable in His sight. This is the view of religion, that lots of good works equals salvation. However, Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9 says, "For it is by grace that you have been saved, through faith, not by works, so that no one can boast." Sounds like something is wrong with our equation. So, let's scratch works and replace it with faith. Surely that's all we need to make our equation correct. Well, we need to tread carefully here. Faith is ultimately what makes us acceptable to God. And we know without faith it is impossible to please God. But this equation is incomplete. James chapter 2 verse 17 says that faith by itself isn't enough. Unless it produces good deeds, it is dead and useless. So, works must be factored into the equation. One popular view of the salvation formula is faith plus works equals salvation. People think that belief in Christ is important, but that salvation is still dependent upon doing enough good with their life. They rightly acknowledge the expectation that works are involved, but they confuse why they're there. It may be subtle, but it's wrong. Why? Well, look at this quick math lesson. We can all agree that 2 plus 3 equals 5. Thus, since this equation is true, it also means that 3 equals 5 minus 2. A true equation holds up regardless of how you move the pieces around. We call them fact families. So let's return to our formula. If faith plus works equals salvation is true, then the formula of faith equals salvation minus works must also be true. And Professor James has already reminded us that this kind of faith just doesn't add up. Let's try this one more time. We are saved by faith. But James does add something to the equation by challenging us with what our faith should look like. It's not that works create our salvation, rather, it's that works should accompany our salvation. That's an authentic faith, growing in Christ-likeness in such a way that our lives bear the fruit of good works. And yes, I know what you're thinking. If this fact family is true, then faith minus works equals salvation must also be true. So if you have no works, are you saved? Let's just say while we can celebrate God's amazing grace, the expectation of God's word is that we would see the fruit of your real faith. So while the math adds up, it should bother you that your life does not. The fact is, we are saved by faith alone. But the faith which saves is never alone. Still not sure about all of this? Well, you do the math.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we go for the prayer, get your glass of water ready because we'll be blessing it and praying for you at the end of the program. But before we do that, Pastor Roland, we have 3 points that we want to share with the people at home now on how they can choose a new path.
It's true, because we want to help you to find answers. As Michael said in the beginning of the program, that's the aim of the program. And we're going to lead you through at least these 3 points that we're going to show to you that perhaps is what you need to start.
Yes.
Right? The first to be slowly do more of what feels right. Mm-hmm. Michael, I think that there are some people that they are under pressure in the same case that happened to Dieudonne. There was a point in his testimony that perhaps you said, he won't change. Come on, this person never go right ever. Mm-hmm. And maybe this person is feeling pressure and not taking a decision that should, and doesn't open up. Why not? Mm-hmm. Why not to seek for an advisor, someone that can help this person better?
Exactly. You know, you want to do more, you feel as though you want to do more, but you don't know how to. You know, maybe you know what to do, but maybe you don't have that strength to do it. Maybe as a point is you want to do it, but you're still, maybe you're afraid, maybe you don't think it's going to work, so you are stuck. So slowly do more of what feels right. The second point.
The next, find and do work that you love. Scientifically proven, Michael, is that if a person closes her eyes and try to walk straight, she won't be able to. She walk in circle. Mm-hmm. And many people are trying without a target, without a goal, without a focus to walk, but like blind, going around and find themselves always on the starting point. Mm-hmm. So if they would have at least the eyes on what they want, looking for what they want, but the eyes on the goal, they would go for it. Mm-hmm. Not blind, but going straight for what they want.
It's that point I was saying about me starting that course. You know, I wanted to do it, but then it's like, and I found something that I love. So don't go on that same path knowing, why are you stuck in that relationship that you know he or she will not fulfill you? You see that they're not going to be a good spouse for you, or a father or mother to the kids. So just break it while you can. Make a decision while you can. All right? And the final point.
The last one is surround yourself with the people that makes this possible. And that I can answer very easy and simple. Call us now. We can do it. We can help you, at least to show you that positivity is possible. You can touch, you can see something touchable, right?
Actually, Dieudonne said that with his friend.
Yes.
He saw the difference between the friends he used to hang about with, and then his friend who introduced him, or his cousin introduced him to that youth group, and he saw a difference between the two types of friends. And when he surrounded himself with positive people, he felt this is the place to be. This is where I want to be. I feel home here. I feel that, these people are going to help me.
And he did not just had that feeling for himself. He kept on going close to these people, and he today is results of this change. You could see his smile is genuine, right? He has it. You can see that today he is different.
Yes.
Everything horrible he said from his past doesn't match with the Dieudonne that he is today. People even compare him and say, come on, you're not the same. People that are today surrounding him in the church, when he opens up and say about how he was before, people don't realize. They actually say, come on, you're joking.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like, and you can change.
And guess what? Dieudonne is only 23 years old. Huh? 23. Only 23. Look what he's gone through. But he's still young. He says a future ahead of him, and he has chosen the right path. And I'm sure he's not going to steer away from that. Do you want to be on the right path? Then let's pray for you now. Even if you don't believe in God, but you say, I'll try anything. Then close your eyes. We're going to go for the prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like a prayer for your general well-being, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord, in the name of Jesus, we come before you with all our faith. In order, my Father, to stretch out our hands to this person through this prayer, because we know that you are with us. So touch these people right now that are praying, my God, in order to help them to find a way, to open up their eyes, so that this person may find the proper path, to glorify your name, in order to change her life. I am sure that you can lift up this person and make her to see your power today through this prayer. I surrender this person in your hands, my God, and I'm sure that they can see results.
Yes, my God. I agree with Pastor Roland. And we join our faith now, and we determine that your life will take a new course. If you felt weak, if you were afraid of making the right decision, which you knew deep down inside you had to take, so receive this strength from God to make the right choice. And we are going to hear good news. And if we don't hear from you, you are going to see it in your own life. And you will be grateful, because it was through this prayer that God gave you the strength, God gave you the energy to kickstart the change in your life. Lord, bless this water that this person will drink, and energize them, strengthen them, my God, in the name of Jesus Christ. Drink this water now and be renewed. So, we believe your life has taken a new path. Now, follow the steps that we said, and I'm sure you're on your way to the new person that you want to be. All right? And remember, it's never too late to change. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you on tomorrow's Finding Answer. Bye-bye.